All right, we are ready to kick off our post-race press conference for tonight's 31st annual Toyota Care 250, and we open it up with the winner of $100,000 in this edition of the Xfinity Series Dash for Cash. It's your fourth win in the Dash for Cash program.
Nice.
There's the check.
Hey man,
right
I'm
there.
very proud of this check.
Should be. Locks you into the Dash for Cash for Talladega, which pretty much guarantees a return to the Media Center next weekend.
Good. How about that? That'd be 4 weeks in a row in the
4 weeks
Media
in a row.
Center. Thank you. Thank you all.
Please open
Appreciate
it up with comments about everything I just said.
Okay. First of all, it's so good running here at my home track at home, and all I could think about when we were up front and taking the lead and winning the stage would be how great would it finally be to pull one off here. And we just got a little bit too tight there at the end, and obviously Bell and Gragson made really good adjustments to their cars, and we just kind of lost the track a little bit. And never felt this way finishing third before. Definitely never felt this way winning $100,000, which is a lot of money to an Xfinity driver and to a team, and means a lot to me and my family to be a part of the Dash for Cash, and thanks to Xfinity and Peter and Matt and everybody do so much to activate our series for their teams and the drivers and everything they can do. And it was fun racing at my home track for $100,000, and we're pretty decent at Talladega too, so it's pretty good to be able to go down there and try for it again.
Awesome. Thank you, Elliott. Also, we are joined by the driver of number 18 Switch Toyota, and that is Noah Gragson. In his debut, he became the 12th driver to finish either first or second in his first NASCAR Xfinity Series start. So congratulations on that, Noah. You look a little bit disappointed, but it was an awesome finish, and maybe talk about your first ever Xfinity Series race.
Yeah, just kind of, I don't know, it's great to finish second in my first race, but I want to definitely win there at the end. Really close on Christopher, but I just couldn't hold myself to beating them up too badly in the corner, roughing them up too hard, maybe a little bump, but just came up a little short there, but just thankful for the opportunity.
Thank you, Noah. Any questions for either Elliott or Noah? Please raise your hand, and we'll get a mic to you. Start off with it, Hank in the center.
Noah, Hank Kurz with AP. You obviously didn't hear the broadcast, but was there any point during the race where you thought, holy crap, I'm doing this? Like, I'm right here?
Yeah, I think so. Like, probably with about 20 to go, I started thinking that it was just me and Christopher there at the end. And it's going to come down to one of us, too. So just trying not to get too over my head, trying to stay disciplined pretty much the whole time was the main thing. But I found something there at the end of the second stage on old tires, and just kept it in the back of my mind. Saved it till the end of the race, and about 20 to go, I started thinking about it, and about 18 to go, I couldn't really wait much longer, and so I tried it, and I gained about 2-3 car lengths on Christopher and rolled pretty close up to him. And then my spotter, Rick Corelli, told me not to use it too soon, so I backed off and caught some lap cars at the wrong times there at the end and never really got to use it again. So just looking back on it, I probably should have stuck to my own, and done it and went along and passed them. But man, I wish I could just go back there and do that again. I probably would have had a different outcome.
We'll go up to the press box for a couple of questions.
Yeah, Reed Spencer for NASCAR Wire Service. Noah, for those of us who have never done something like this, tell us what it's like to chase a guy like Bell, having him in your windshield for 78 straight laps, and basically doing everything you can to try to get to him, and you just what that's feeling like, and what you were feeling throughout that run.
Yeah, it's tough. There at the end, never really racing one of these Xfinity cars, my first time, so not knowing this track, not knowing how the tires wear. Luckily, I did some preparation before coming to this racetrack, so I kind of have a little idea. And then my group at Joe Gibbs Racing, Eric Phillips, and the rest of the guys, they prepare me well. So it's tough. You you get in the throttle and you crack it open barely, and you're spinning the tires up off the corner. So just trying to stay disciplined. You're slipping and sliding, and you're all over the place chasing it, and it's real greasy out there. But just staying disciplined, hitting your marks, which was on the bottom for me. I felt like that's where my Toyota Camry worked the best. That was the biggest thing, is just staying disciplined.
Another question in the box.
Yes, Lee Spencer, RBN. Elliott, I've got 2 questions for you with me,
Okay.
so be patient.
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, would you have traded that $100,000 in for a win, with this being your, the one track that a win would mean the world to you?
Yes, I would. I don't know how that sounds to people, but this is a track I came to as a kid that my parents brought me to when I was just an infant, and we've had family season tickets here for over 40 years. I'm 42 years old, and I would definitely trade in a lot of trophies for a win at this racetrack. And it felt good, to run as good as we did during the middle of the race. And Noah hit on something that I'll make a comment on. I thought he did a well of a job when we started the third stage, and he and Christopher were racing for the lead, and I kept trying to watch for them to spin their rear tires off, and I kept watching Noah get off the corner pretty straight, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, they're not using their tires as much as I would hope they would, and I knew we were kind of going to be in trouble. But I would definitely trade in this to tomorrow. Not that it's a light thing, $100,000, but a memory in Victory Lane is something that lasts a lifetime, and something I've been dreaming about since I was a kid at this track.
And also, someone mentioned the fact, one of the Cup drivers, that going over the tunnel where they have changed the tunnel here, that it felt different going over that patch. For someone who has raced here as long as you have, can you explain what that feels, or what the difference might feel like inside the race car? Thank you.
Yeah, Lee, no problem. It's definitely a bump there now that we have not had there before, where they have the patch. But I actually talked to the engineers today after practice. I thought they did a good job of grinding it down. And I think what they did, the bump is the same from the bottom groove to the top groove. It's not like it's something different. And we run on different tracks that have bumps on it anyway. It's nothing new to us. But it's under braking. And I actually used it as a mark tonight as far as when to get out of the gas, when to get on the brake pressure and stuff like that. And you actually got some good grip through it as far as braking is concerned. I got a lot of my heavy braking done on the patch because I knew I wouldn't slide my front tire. So it does, Lee, it does feel a little different. It's got some grip to it. It does have a bump, but the bump is nothing more than what we would run at some other tracks that have some of the same characteristics.
Any more questions for Elliott? Well, Zach in the back.
It's past my bedtime.
Me
Zach,
too. I woke up at 4.
What? What are you doing up so early?
Toyota.
Zach Albert, NASCAR.com. For Elliott, you touched on with the success that you've had at Talladega, won there in 2016 and before. This is the first time that it's going to be a Dash for Cash race.
Yeah, who thought of that? Go ahead. I'm
But
sorry.
anyway, do you feel like I don't know that changes anything, but do you feel like your prospects there are as good as anybody's?
I just think everybody's going to be wild. I don't even know who we're racing against yet for the Dash for Cash next week. I guess Bell and Tift and me, and I'm not sure who else is the other.
Cindric.
Who is?
Austin Cindric.
Oh, Austin Cindric. Okay, so you got a Penske car that's really fast. You got a Childress car that's fast, and we know Christopher's been fast everywhere, and then, of course, our cars are going to be good too. So Talladega is one of those tracks you don't know who's going to win until you kind of go past the tri-oval, right? It's not even coming off turn 4. So I think with the $100,000 on the line, that guys are going to be more aggressive, like we need that at Talladega. But guys are going to be more aggressive and probably take more chances, and we are too. I think you're going to have to be very aggressive to try to win the $100,000 there. So I think you guys are going to see a wild race. Daytona was a crazy race. Probably the wildest restricted plate race I have ever raced in, and because of the rules package that we had, and nobody wanted to give up the lead, nobody took a break, and I think we're going to see a lot of the same stuff at Talladega. And now you throw $100,000 on top of it. It's like Xfinity knew what they were doing to make Talladega a Dash for Cash race. It should be a good show for the fans.
Hey, look at deer.
Hey. Do I get $1 for that? No. All right. No. I think that was kind of cheating to let me say that word, deer, because I say it so much anyway.
Deer.
Yeah.
I crack up about that all the time.
Got another question in the press box?
John Harvon with ESPN Albuquerque.
Okay. Yep.
Go ahead. You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, John Harvon with ESPN Albuquerque. For Noah, I just want to know how much you feel like your skills have evolved and you've fine-tuned your car control ever since being a rookie last year in the truck series. You looked like a veteran tonight in the 18 truck or in the 18 car.
Yeah, it's I've come a long way here in the past year. I still have a long way to go, but definitely always thought I had the drive and the fight in me. Bob Pockris might not, but I feel like I've always had that drive and the fight, and always willing to do whatever it takes to be better. So just learning from everybody that have really been around, whether it's off the racetrack at KBM or Joe Gibbs Racing, or if it's on the racetrack following this guy right here, trying to run him down. Just learn as much as I can is the biggest thing, and I still have a long way to go.
Another question in the press box?
Chris Knight, CatchFence.com. Noah, with your brilliant performance tonight, how much pressure is going to be on your shoulders to go out there and duplicate at Talladega and Dover what you did tonight?
Well, I'm looking forward to Dover. Talladega, that one might come back in a ball or something. I'm not sure. It's a kind of roll of the dice. I know we'll have a fast Toyota Camry there with switch on the hood, but man, I'm not too great of a restrictor plate racer just because I don't have a lot of experience. I watched Daytona this year from the spotter stand in the Xfinity race, and man, they couldn't get off each other, and they're beating and banging and spinning out. So I don't know what my strategy is going to be. I'm going to talk to the guys at Joe Gibbs Racing this week. And then I'm really excited for Dover. I feel like I run somewhat decent there in the truck. So I don't know what it's going to be like in the Xfinity car, but hopefully it can transfer over.
All right, any final questions for Elliott or Noah? Awesome. Thanks, guys. Congratulations. Great run out there. Would you mind guys doing serious? Okay, we are with the winners of tonight's 31st annual Toyota Care 250. The driver of the number 20 Rheem Toyota, Christopher Bell, and his crew chief, Jason Ratcliff. Gentlemen, outstanding finish, outstanding race. I know, Christopher, it's your second win in the series. Can you talk about taking your Toyota to victory lane in the Toyota Care 250? Appropriate 1-2 finish by Toyotas as well.
Yeah, obviously this is a very important race for Toyota, the whole Toyota Racing Development and Toyota Motorsports or Motor Sales family. So thankfully we had a really good Camry. All of JGR's cars have been really fast for the last couple weeks now, and it's really shown. They had JGR as a company could have ran 1-2-3 at Bristol and should have ran 1-2 with Brandon Jones and Ryan Preece last week, and then they did run 1-2 with myself and Noah this week. So that says a lot about the guys at the shop building really fast race cars, and thankfully I'm the guy that gets to drive one of them.
Jason, awesome to see you back in victory lane. Maybe talk about your return in the Xfinity Series with Christopher.
Yeah, it's been fun. Lots changed since I was here last, but it's been a blast. We've had a super great season so far. A few poles under our belt. Had fast race cars every week. You know, like Christopher says, it's just a testament to all the guys back at the shop, all the hard work. They just keep improving on these race cars each and every week, and I think it shows. It was a battle tonight, man. We lost a few spots there at one time, and he did a good job of communicating what we need, made some good adjustments on the car, and worked out there in the end. It was a fun night.
Great, thank you. Any questions for either Christopher or Jason? Please raise your hand, and we'll get you a mic. Go start with Hank.
Hank Kurz with AP. Christopher, what's it like in that situation when you have a teammate kind of hunting you down and you don't know whether he's going to be clean with you or, especially a guy in his first race where he wants to make history and all that kind of stuff. What kind of goes through your mind each way on that?
Well, I think the word teammate kind of goes out the window whenever you're racing for a win, other than the fact that you try not to crash each other. But Yeah, the track position, man. That's what ultimately won me the race. He probably had a little bit better long run car than I did, but I don't know. Like, Jason kept telling me lap times, and every time he would tell me a lap time, it was a your 40 to his 55 or your 50 to his 55, and then next thing you know, a spotter would key up and say 3 back. I'm like, wait a minute, how's he doing that? How's he gaining on me? So that was one thing that I was kind of worried about. And then at the end of the race, I could tell that I was just starting to struggle more and more and more, and figured he'd be getting there. And I just kept try to flip my mirror up and run my race and try and run as fast as I could. And if he got me, he got me.
We have a couple questions in the press box.
Lee Spencer, RBN. After last weekend's disappointment, how did it feel to go from the lowest of lows back to the highest of highs? Because from the beginning of the season, all you've said is, I want to win.
Yeah, that's a really good question. For me, I've been through a lot of lows in my career between dirt racing and NASCAR racing, and honestly, last week was one of the lowest lows. That race had a lot on the line and paid really good money. Had a lot of cool trophies, and we had a race car that I felt like should have won the race, and we ended up crashed. So that was an extreme disappointment, and just glad that we were able to rebound and win. But we need to continue winning. One win's not gonna be enough to satisfy myself or Jason or the Joe Gibbs Racing Company. So just got to keep on knocking them off.
Mike Massey with FrontStretch.com. Christopher, your first win kind of came at the expense of a teammate. How important for you was it to win this one just like a clean manner to impress the boss man?
My other one was a clean manner too. So.
All right. Any other questions for either Christopher or Jason? We'll go to Zach in the center.
Zach Albert, NASCAR.com for Christopher. Elliott was in here, and he like you is going to be eligible for Dash for Cash for next week, and this is the first year that Talladega is included among those. He expressed some concern that there may be potentially more chaos than usual. Do you feel that way, and what are your outlook for that?
Well, the thing about Talladega is we're not going to know who's going to win the Dash for Cash until the last couple inches come into the line, because we see it time and time again there. You're going to be 4 or 5 wide whenever you come to the finish line, and so it's you're not going to be able to put a lot of stock into who's leading the money, who's leading the Dash for Cash. Even whenever you take the white flag, the guy who's leading is more than likely not going to be the guy who wins it. So that's just the thing about Talladega is with the pack racing, it always jumbles around, and it's going to be a crapshoot.
We have another one upstairs in the press box.
Yes, it's Lee again. Jason, what can you say about the evolution of Christopher? And Christopher, when he gets done, will you tell us what your transportation looks like getting to Peevely?
It's been, this is our 7th race working together, but I'm extremely impressed. Obviously, it's been, like I mentioned before, it's been a lot of fun. And I think just tonight, to watch the discipline, the amount that Christopher learned in the first and second stage, and then was able to apply that, and again communicate what he needed in the race car, and then just be disciplined for 90 laps, to go out there and get everything he could out of his car. Who knows what the future holds? I think it's obviously bright, and hopefully this is just one of many to come this season.
And as far as my transportation to Peevely, I got a commercial flight out of Charlotte at 9:30 tomorrow. So land around 10:30 and go bolt a seat in and try and beat the Outlaws.
Very good. Christopher, Jason, any final questions? Upstairs? All right. Congratulations, gentlemen. Great job tonight. Thank you for coming in.